Good day, everyone. So today is our fourth week for the second quarter subject business finance. And now we are going to discuss another topic or just a continuation of what we had discussed last week. So the title or the lesson that we are going to discuss today is all about present value annuity. So present value annuity refers to the present value of all individual investments or deposits made. So each individual investment is discounted and then all the discounted amounts are added to represent the present value of the annuity. So the concept is illustrated in the timeline, assuming that the annuity is 10,000 pesos at 10% interest compounded annually for 4 years. So we have here an example illustration of the annuity of 10,000 pesos with the interest compound. So, using the step-by-step approach, the present value of the 10,000 pesos annuity for years compounded at 10% annually appears as follows. So, period 1, we have 10,000 pesos times the 1.10 raised to the power of negative 1 or the 10,000 pesos times the 900,091 ten thousandths or that will be equivalent to 9,091 pesos. And then the same with the second period, third period, and then the fourth period. So wherein the present value of 10,000 pesos annuity will have a total of 31,698 pesos. So this indicates that 10,000 pesos annuity or annual investment made every end of the year for 4 years at the interest rate of 10% compounded annually or a total investment of 40,000 pesos for 4 years has a value today present of 31,698 pesos. So the total investments of 40,000 pesos, however, does not represent the future value of 30,698 pesos. So since present value is the reverse of the future value, so the present value of 31,698 pesos can be interpreted from the concept of future value of annuity. So in this case, an amount of 31,698 pesos invested today at the rate of 10% compounded annually can be provide an annuity of 10,000 pesos every end of the year for 4 years. So next is we have the present value of annuity using the formula. So the step-by-step process appears to be tedious, which may lead to the possibility of committing mechanical errors in the computation. So thus the following formula has been advised or devised to determine the present value of the annuity. So here we have the formula PV, which is present value of annuity, is equal to A, which is the annuity, times the 1 minus 1 times the quantity of 1 plus I, where I is the periodic interest rate, minus or raised to the power of n over I, wherein again it's the periodic interest rate, and then n is the total compounding period. So we have here an example illustration. So this one, IZ plans to invest 3,000 pesos at the end of every quarter for 8 years at the interest rate of 10% compounded quarterly. So first thing that we are going to do is we have to find out what is our annuity, our interest, and the number. So first is that the required here is you have to determine the present value of the quarterly annuity of 3,000 pesos for 8 years. So meaning our annuity here is 3,000 pesos. So here we have the answer that the periodic interest rate is 2.5%. That is 10%, which is 10% yung interest rate niya, and then compounded quarterly. So ibig sabihin si 10%, i-divide natin siya by 4, which is the quarterly. So the total for that is 2.5%. So meaning the periodic interest rate is 2.5%. And then the total compounding period is 32. So paano? So based on the problem, the IZ plans to invest 3,000 pesos at the end of every quarter for 8 years. So 8 years, we are going to multiply it by every quarter, which is 4. So now, the compounding period is 32. So since IZ will make an investment of 3,000 pesos every end of the quarter, so the total investment for IZ for 32 quarters will be 96,000 pesos, wherein you're going to multiply 3,000 times 32. Okay. So where do we get the 32 there on the quarters? So meaning we have 8 years on the problem and then it's compounded quarterly. So 8 times 4, that will be 32. Okay. So applying the formula, the present value of 3,000 pesos quarterly annuity for 8 years at the interest rate of 10% compounded quarterly is computed as follows. So now this will be our formula that I have told you a while ago for the present value. So our annuity here is 3,000. That's 3,000. It's not 5,000. And then our interest is 1 and 2.025 over the 0.25 raised to the power of negative 32. So now our present value is 3,000 pesos times 21 and 848 thousandths. So our present value is 65,544 pesos. So here is the table. So the present value of 3,000 pesos annuity at the end of every quarter for 32 quarters at the interest rate of 10% compounded quarterly is 65,544, though the total investment amounts to 96,000 pesos, wherein you're just going to multiply the annuity of 3,000 pesos to the 32 quarters. Okay? So the diagram shows the annuity of 3,000 pesos at the end of every quarter is discounted. Next is we have the present value of annuity using a table. So in case the computation of the present value of annuity does not use scientific or financial calculators, the process can be performed with the aid of present value of annuity factor shown in Annex B. So here we have another illustration or example problem. Here we have Rolly invests 5,000 pesos every end of the 6 months for 6 years. So the money is compounded semi-annually at a nominal rate of 8%. So what you are going to do is you are going to determine the present value of annuity of using the factor value in Annex D. So here the answer, in this case, the frequency of conversion is semi-annual. Hence, the total compounding periods are 12 years. And then the periodic interest rate is 45. Okay, so now, next is using the value factor in the table, we are going to locate the column of 4% interest rate. So this time, you have to run your finger on the column until you reach the period or the n, which is 12. So the value in the intersection of n is equal to 12 and our interest is 4%. So that will be equal to 9 and 3,851 10,000. So the quarterly annuity of 5,000 pesos is then multiplied by the value in order to determine the present value annuity of 5,000 pesos for 6 years at 8% compounded semi-annually. So the computation appears as follow. So we have our annuity and then our interest. So our present value is 46,925 pesos and 50 centavos. Here, so using the value factor, so as what I have told you a while ago, So again, this is our present value. So this could be all for our lesson for today, the present value annuity. And we are going to discuss new topic for our next meeting. So that could be all for today. Thank you and goodbye.